Yeah, we've already done this last
Yeah. 90% of what we've already done is last year. When we talk about average kids, probably the place that you see it the most is your grade average, which is, average is a very hard thing actually to define. But we're going to use a couple different things that you probably don't think about averages to be. First of all, how do you find average? To find an average, basically what do you do? Anybody? For example, there are, let's see, in 5th grade, I think there's 21 kids. How many are there 6th graders? 21. Is there 5th grade? 21. 7th grade, there is 28. And in 8th grade, there is, just for whatever purposes, let's say there are,
Just let's
see.
3, 5, 1, 17.
Let's say there's 16, just to make this work out. If I were to try to find the average class size, what would I do to find the average class size? Ariel?
You first add up all the numbers together.
All right, step 1 is add up all numbers. And then step 2, Ariel?
You divide that by how many classes there are.
Yep. Divide by how many numbers you added. Okay. So in this case here, I'm going to add 21, 21, 28, and 16, which ends up giving me 16, 1, 2, 4, 86, and it still didn't work out. Let's change that to, let's say there are 18 kids in 8th grade, so this works out evenly. So I have 88 divided by 4, that means an average of 22 kids per class in the upper grades there. Now again, remember though, there's not 22 kids in every class. That is an average. Now what you need to think about that is, anytime the book asks you these couple questions, you're finding average. Anytime they ask you to make equal stacks of something, or if they ask you to find a number that's halfway between. I'll show you an example of that. If they ask you either of these two things, they don't use the word average, but that's actually what you're doing. Okay, for example, what number is halfway between 17 and 33? And what they mean is, on a number line, if you have 17 here and you have 33 here, what number is exactly in the middle? And what that is nothing more than finding the average, and you do it the same way we talked about. You add 17 and 33 together, which happens to be 50. I added two numbers together, so I divide 50 by 2. And exactly in the middle between those two would be the number 25. Okay, same thing as average. Even though they don't say the word average, that's what you have to do to find something halfway between. Or, one more example. Find it here. Don't you worry. There were 26 books. There were 26 books on a shelf. Books on one shelf. 26 books on one shelf. 36 books on a second shelf. And 43 books on the third shelf. Did I say 43? Books on a third shelf. If you wanted to put the same number of books on each shelf, how many would you put on each shelf? How many books would you put on each shelf to have an equal amount? In other words, they're trying to make equal stacks. On one stack you have 26, on the second stack you have 36, and on a third stack you have 43. If you want to find out how many books you put on each one to make them even, that is the same thing. That is the same thing as finding their average. Okay? And what would you have to do? You add 43, 36, and 26 together, which is what, 15, 7, 8, 105. What do I have to do with 105? Christine?
Divided by 3.
Yeah, I have 105 total books. I divide it by 3, and I end up with 35 books on each shelf. 35 books. So anytime they ask you to make equal stacks, that would be what you would do. By the way, average is also, put a big old asterisk on your thing there. Asterisk is also called the mean. I don't know why. That's another name for average is mean. So if they ask you to find the mean of something, it's nothing more than the average of something. Perfect. Any questions? I didn't think so. Average